Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today we are going to presenting about income statement and related information from chapter 4. So our teams include me, Abdurrauf Arafi, with my NPM 003.
And me, Naila Erlinafa, with the last NPM 092.
My name is Rohit Zaindan Andini with the last NPM 114.
And me, Zakidillah Firmansyah with last NPM 186.
My name is Rakuten Ramanan and I've traveled with last NPM 416.
So we can move to our first presentation, who will be presented by my friend.
And now I'm gonna explain about usefulness of the income statement. First, the usefulness of the income statement. We can evaluate the past performance of the company by examining revenues and expenses. User can see how a company performed and compare it to its competitor. For example, analysts use the income statement to compare Toyota and Hyundai. Second is to provide a basis for predicting future performance. Information regarding past performance can reveal important trends. If these trends continue, analysts can use them to better predict future revenues, earnings, and cash flow. Third is help assess the risk or uncertainty of achieving future cash flow. Information on the various components of income statements, revenues, expenses, gains, and losses highlight the relationships among them. It also helps to assess the risk of not achieving a particular level of cash flow in the future. Next is the limitation of the income statement. First is companies omit items from the income statement that they cannot measure reliably. Current practice prohibits recognition of certain items from the determination of income, even though the effect of this item can arguably affect the company's performance. Second is income numbers are affected by the accounting methods employed. One company may depreciate its planned assets on an accelerated basis, another choose straight-line depreciation, assuming all other factors are equal. The first company will report lower income. Third is income measurement involves judgment. Companies must make estimates that affect income. For example, two companies might estimate different useful lives for the exact same type of asset, or a company might make overly optimistic estimates about future warranty costs and bad debt expense, leading to lower reported expenses and higher reported income. Next is gonna be explained by my friend.
The next one is content of the income statement. So the statement includes two major elements. The first one is income. It's increase in asset or decrease in liabilities that grows equity. And the second one is expenses. It's decrease in asset or increase in liabilities that reduce equity. These are further broken down into the first one is revenue. Revenue is arise from ordinary activities like sales, fees, interest, or rents that could make us gains, sales, or revenues. Next one is gain. Gain is increase in equity from peripheral or incidental transactions, such as selling land or long-term assets. The next one is expenses. Expenses is cost from ordinary activities, including cost of goods sold, salaries, and taxes. The next one is loss. Losses is decrease in equity from peripheral transactions, such as restructuring charges or asset sales. The next one is the format of the income statement. So the first one, it must include sales or revenue section. sales or revenue section arrives at net sales by subtracting discount and returns. The next one is cost of goods sold. It shows the direct cost of producing sales. Then gross profit, net sales minus cost of goods sold. The next one is operating expense. It's categorized into selling expenses and administrative or general expenses. The next one is other income or expenses. Item like dividend revenue, rent revenue, and gain or losses on asset sales. So it's not includes in operating expenses. The next one is income from operation. It was result from normal business operation. The next one is financing costs. It was specifically identified as interest expense. Then income tax. It was taxes that levied on income before taxes. The next one is discontinued operation, reported separately after income from continuing operation. The next one is net income. It's the final result of performance for the period. The next one is non-controlling interest. It was allocates income between controlling shareholders and non-controlling interest. The next one is earning per share. It's a mandatory ratio measuring the dollars earned by each ordinary share. So the next one will be explained by my friend.
And now we move to how to report various income items. The first one is gross profit. Compute as net sales minus cost of goods sold. The gross profit helps analysts evaluate performance and predict future earnings. And we move to income for operation. Is computed as gross profit minus selling or admin expenses plus other income or minus other expenses. The income for operation is used to predict the amount, timing, and uncertainty of future cash flow. The next one is income before tax, determined by deducting interest expense or financing costs from income from operation. IFRS requires separate reporting to differentiate business activities from financing activities. And the next one is net income, represents the income after all revenue and expenses for the period are considered. Next, please. We move to earning per share or EPS. EPS is from net income minus preference dividends divided by weighted average of ordinary shares outstanding. Companies must disclose earning per share on the face of the income statement. And the next is discontinued operations, a component of an entity that has been disposed of or is held for sale. Companies report as discontinued operation the gain or loss from disposal of a component of a business. The last one is allocation to non-controlling interest. The portion of equity or net assets, interest in a subsidiary not attributable to the parent company. If a parent owns more than 50%, it must consolidate the subsidiary results. The next topic will be presenting by my friend.
Now we move to the reporting of accounting mistakes and errors. So here there are changes in accounting principle, change in accounting estimate, and correction of an error. So first, change in accounting principle occurs when a company adopts a different accounting method. Example, changing inventory method from FIFO to weighted average, or changing depreciation method, or also adopting a new international financial report standard. And it is reported under IFRS. Changes in accounting principle are reported using retrospective application, and the beginning retained earnings of the earliest year presented. Next, the change in accounting estimate. So here, the change in estimate happens when new information causes a revision in estimates. Example, change in useful life of equipment, or change in bad debt estimate, or change in warranty liability estimate. It is reported prospectively. No restatement and effect is included in current year income or for the future years. And the last one, correction of errors. Errors may result from mathematical mistakes, misapplication of accounting principle, oversight or fraud, incorrect use of fact. So it is reported by corrected using prior period adjustment and adjust beginning retained earning of earliest year presented. The next part will be presented by my friends.
Okay, now I'm going to explain about the related equity statement. The first one, we have retained earnings statement. The retained earnings statement recognizes the beginning and the ending balance of retained earnings for a given period. It explains why net asset increase or decrease during the year. For the example of retaining earning asset, you can see in the picture. Okay, next. Now is comprehensive income statement. Comprehensive income includes all change equity during a period except those resulting from investment and distribution. Company must display component of other comprehensive income or OC in one of two ways. The first method we can use is one statement approach. It's a single continuous statement showing net income followed by OCI item to arrive at total comprehensive income. Then the second method is two-statement approach. It's two separate but consecutive statements. A traditional income statement with separate comprehensive income statement that begins with net income. So for the picture is the example of two-statement approach. For example, one statement approach, it's like the income statement and comprehensive income statement is like they are divided, like each one is like that. Okay, next. And then the last one, we are statement of change in equity. This statement provides reconciliation of the carrying amount of each component of equity from the beginning to the end to the period. Include information such as like accumulated contribution or insurance of shares, then distribution to owner or we call it dividends, then total comprehensive income. This statement is useful for understanding how equity changes during the period of financial position. Okay, next. Maybe that's all the material for us.
Udah lah ini. Woi, lu jangan tidur, kocak. Itu gak ada penutupnya loh.
Thank you
Sampai gak ada
for your
penutup.
attention. We'll meet again for the next material. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.